Alright, welcome back to the channel everyone. Our indoor season on Astro has finished for the year, so it's time to get my trusty X-Ray XB4 all set up ready for outdoor dirt again, which means I've got to change ride height, it's got to be set up for bumps and jumps and dirt and a whole lot less traction. So the first thing we're going to do is get our blank setup sheet. I'm going to note down everything that I had set up on it for Astro so I can get back to where I started last time, and some notes on how it was handling at the end of the season. Overall it was pretty good. Initial turn-in was a bit lacking. Once it got into the corner it started to rotate pretty well, and then was pretty stable out of the corner. So pretty good, just a couple of tiny things to work on. So we're just going to quickly speed through and check everything over on the car, make sure it's all where it should be, and note down all the settings and ride heights and cameras and all those things as we go. Right, so we'll speed it up now and get into it. Okay, so I've been through and noted down all the settings that I've got on here that I'll be changing. Overall, it's pretty good. Shocks seem to be about right. Diffs are about right. Maybe a little bit of geometry just to help the turn-in for the next season, but other than that, it'll be time to pull out last year's dirt track setup and put that in the car. Alright, now that we've got the shocks and sway bars off, we're going to take out the diffs. Really easy on this. After working on things like the Optima and the Tamiya VQS, it's half an hour job to get a diff out. This one, 6 screws, bang, you're done. So we'll do the first one and then we'll just speed it up from there while I clean it up and change the oils over. Also, I've already taken off the sway bar, so that's 2 of the 6 screws already out. Easy as. Two more underneath. If you're doing one of these, it's really easy to tell which screws to take out on the bottom, because it's the domed machine head screws, or the ones that you leave in place are the countersunk flathead ones. So it's flat, leave it there. Alright, and then take that one out. Front diff housing. And diff. Tap. Alright, so just a couple of little notes on there. I know that according to X-Ray and everything else, you're supposed to weigh a certain number of grams of diff oil in there. I don't have any scales that are accurate enough for that. Mine need to go down to 0.1 of a gram, not 0.01 of a gram. So all I normally do is fill it so that it's just a little bit over the rods that hold the gears in there. and just turn it a couple of times, make sure you get any bubbles and rubbish out of underneath of it, leave it for a little bit, and then you should be good to go. And the other one is when you're putting the 4 screws back in the top, make sure you don't do them tight all the way around. So put it in loosely, one side, then the other, top, bottom, then go around and tighten them all up again. Again on opposite sides first, not in a circular motion, otherwise you run the risk of cracking the gear casing or distorting it in some way. Alright, so that's it. I've put 10k oil back into that one for the front. I'll put 5k in the rear. So we'll just put that back in and then we'll flip it around and do the rear diff. Okay, so that's the front end in. Put the sway bar back in again. Put the wrong one in first, so I had to swap it. So we're just going to do exactly the same process on the rear, and I'll just put the 5k oil in the diff instead of 10. Easy. Okay, next up we're going to be doing the shocks. I was running 40 weight front and rear for indoor flat track. I'll be changing to 35 rear, 30 front for the outdoor again. That's where I finished last season. We'll see how we go from there. This is pretty basic, everybody does shocks, so nothing really different here. All right. Alright, so the car's all back together now. The last thing I've got to do is just alter the roll centre on the rear upper suspension arm a little bit. Just as I found at the end of last season it was really twitchy, and lowering that roll centre made it a whole lot easier to handle. So I'm just going to put that back real quick, and that'll be us pretty well done. Alright, well that's that done. Roll centre's adjusted, Sprinter tyres are back on, and we're all ready to go dirt racing again. Looking forward to that. One thing I did notice when I was taking and checking everything before, my front tyres are starting to wear a bit, so that won't have been helping the indoor racing. But let's be honest, last season was my first season racing this buggy, and it took a few pretty gnarly hits to walls and things that are quite unforgiving outdoors, and I have actually really cracked and broken these front rims. I don't know if you can see that on there at all, but yeah, they're stuffed. So I'll add that to my shopping list ready for next year's running. Alright, thanks for watching. See ya.